Hey, Facebook.
Hello, everybody.
Instagram.
Hello. We're going to give you all time to come in tonight.
Join us. We are trying something new. I am, brother.
Yes.
Doing something new.
Got her on.
Yes, got me on here doing this Facebook Live Beyond the Radio.
Yes. As you come on, can you do us a favor and like and share this video for us? As you're coming on live, thank you so much.
Tell us where you're from.
Yeah.
Tell you where you're from.
As you come on, just like and share for us. We would really appreciate that.
Hey man, how you doing?
Hello, Sister Yvette. What's going on, girl?
That's right. Happy homecoming.
Yes.
Happy homecoming.
Look, everybody came in today was asking about homecoming. Y'all ready for homecoming?
I went today. It's like,
yes.
Why was so much traffic? It was. But people are coming in town.
Coming in town.
Yeah.
Homecoming. Yes, coming on in town. So we're on Instagram tonight. We're on Facebook Live tonight. So we're going to give you a chance to join us. We got some important information that we're going to be sharing tonight.
Yes.
Just talking about upcoming events. Sister Yvette's on out there.
Hey, Sister Yvette. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Come on in.
Come on in and like and share. Help build the audience up. Thank you, Sister Felicia.
Share. They're not used to me coming on, so I ain't got no friends yet.
But girl, them glasses look really good. And look, y'all, they fancy. They got Lady E on the side. I can't do wrong with that.
I did that custom with the store there. On the side of it.
Look, honey.
Glasses for homecoming. I told Kim I was gonna do some different.
Okay.
Yellow glasses. So
well, those are really.
I went today. My staff was like, "Wow, like you really went out." All that. My staff.
Oh yeah.
Like, you really went out.
She is like straight up Aggie Pride today. I mean, she got on the blue. She got on her blue and gold glasses.
Got it on.
I just got on my pink, my confidence shirt.
Well, that's good. We doing it.
I want you to come on in, just like and share. Help us grow the audience a little bit before we get into it. You know, somebody that you think would love to hear what we have to say, like them, tag them in the video.
Excited about what the Lord is doing in our lives. It's a good time. It's a good season.
Yes,
I mean, it's a real good season to be in.
Last part of the year. Can you believe that it's like October?
I don't.
The 24th.
It's just I already see December.
I mean, October just got here though.
Christmas movies start tomorrow night on Lifetime.
See, I don't like Christmas movies. I do not like Christmas movies. I don't like Christmas movies or Christmas music.
Are you Scrooge?
No, I'm not Scrooge. I just don't like it. And 99.5, I love them, but they're already playing Christmas music. Yeah. I do believe. I just around October,
they will overplay it.
Yeah, I can't. I cannot do it.
I like Christmas.
Hey, Sister Judy, thank you for joining us. Hey, Ron Jones. Thank you for joining us.
Christmas, guys, the movie started tomorrow night on Lifetime.
Yes.
The old network gonna have some Christmas movies.
Are they gonna be black?
Yes.
Now I might try to give a black Christmas movie a chance, but I just think not.
Hallmark, she got a little issue. I'm working through that.
But you know what? Now I did see Hallmark. They did offer they had 2 or 3 black people.
They did
in like a movie.
And this year they showed
it was not the help. But I want y'all to know, I'm not saying nothing that I have not already expressed to Hallmark.
That's right.
Like I sent Hallmark an email and I posted on their Facebook page. I want to see more diversity.
And this year when they did the preview of what movies are coming out, they did a whole preview and they do have a lot more black
women. I'm going to do hashtag Hallmark right now.
It's hashtag
Hallmark right now.
Let's do it, honey.
I'm like, what? I did. I emailed them and I was like, we need to see more diversity on here.
Yeah.
I was like, hello. Look with us.
Yeah. Hey, Brandon. Hey, Norma. Hey, Dina. Hey, y'all. Glad to see y'all enjoying it. Share this on Instagram. Y'all share with us.
Please do.
We're excited to that's why I couldn't see nobody because I ain't know to move that.
Oh, what's up right now? Yeah.
I didn't. Right, that's like they just popped up, so I wasn't sure. I tell you, I don't think I know how to do it.
Hello, Pastor Cassandra Elliott. We love you so much.
Yes, we're so glad you joined us.
We love you so. She is such an inspiration.
We're praying, believing God with you.
I mean, she is such an inspiration.
She is. She is like just to watch her, and I'm excited about what God is doing.
Yes.
God, come on and share this video. We got some exciting news.
Yes.
You know one thing. Hey, cousin Bridget. Hey, cuz. I hope to see you this weekend. You coming in time for the homecoming festivities. Yes, this year, guys. I've been out of A&T 25 years.
Really?
Y'all, 25 years. And I said,
women, you doing everything this year.
This year. I'm going to a day party.
Are you going to be at church on Sunday?
What? I'm going to see one George K's night. George K's.
You going to be at the day party?
Yes. I'm going to George K's tomorrow evening to see what's his name? Dougie, not Dougie Fresh, but Dougie Fresh. I can't remember his name, y'all. My brother bought the tickets, but it's our music. Yeah. And then Saturday, I'm going to see PJ Morton.
Yes.
I'm going to see that. Now, but I'll be in church Sunday. But this year, I don't do the games. Y'all don't do that. I'm not going. I'm going to go.
So why would a drink is not going to be vending?
We're not vending this year.
Okay.
No, we're not vending. We will be at Winston-Salem State next weekend.
Oh.
We can really do better in Winston, guys. We do A&T, which is my alumni. So sad, but we do really better.
But don't nobody want to come to Winston. That's why y'all go down there.
We do really well. And we also, while we're drinking, we'll be at the Brown Recreation Center on Halloween night.
Okay.
They have a fall festival there. So we'll be there, and then we'll be in Winston, then all day Friday. So it's really one of those things.
That's my phone.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope it stopped, but it ain't gonna stop.
I hear music.
But look at here.
Hey, Yvette. Hey, Tuck. Hey, Tasha.
Before we get into what we talk about, we always got to talk about current events.
Yes.
So let's talk about yesterday. We discussed it. So it's Seafood Destiny. First of all, it was my first time going, and the executive pastor took myself and First Lady and Bishop out.
I told her to take Benadryl, y'all, because she swells up,
I took like 4 Benadryls. So I was nodding at work like this. I was determined to eat that seafood, let me tell you.
And it was good, y'all. It was really good. It was so good.
Yeah, but we were talking about, hello, Kendra Johnson. Thank you for joining. Hello, Moore. Thank you.
Hey, guys. Good to see you.
So on yesterday, we were talking about at the Seafood Destiny, the whole thing about
T.I. and Jamal Bryant. Yes.
Going to, they went to see Kanye West. Yes. And they had a whole podcast about the offering, how they felt during the offering.
Whole podcast.
So if you have not seen it, go on YouTube. Go on, you probably can find it on YouTube, on Facebook, anywhere.
Anywhere, I know.
But the thing about it is, T.I. said that he felt like, hey, Tadil, T.I. said he felt like he was basically singled out, him and his
he did say that.
Him and his crew.
He did say that.
For money when they got there.
That's right. He did say that. Yeah.
So we was talking about that while we were at Seafood Destiny. Yes. And so I want to ask,
we want to allow people in the place.
Yeah, we were really loud. I think, and Pastor Knox came out to greet us.
Yes.
That made me feel so special.
Yes.
Like it's my birthday.
I'm a regular there, so I was just there the other week. So
okay.
I supported him. He said, okay. So he know my face. I'm regular. I'm a regular.
But I just want to do you think people feel like that? Like when they go to church, like they're being singled out, like for money?
Remember, it was a wave about this prosperity ministry.
Yeah.
I forget his name. The pastor that was on this big wave about prosperity ministry, and he was really saying you need to do this and you need to do that. And so I think that kind of rubbed people the wrong way.
Yeah.
And so when you see, I guess, people of some type of status, you want them to come and be a part of what you got going on, but they might want to just come just listen to the word.
Yeah.
And then it's almost like you take the offering up at the end. So I think it appears to them like, well, and they're on that podcast, he said they had already taken up offering.
Yeah.
And then he go take another offering. So he felt like they were taking the offering just because they came in the building. And so I think people are really leery about giving money to church. And I'm going to tell you why, especially in Black church. We will have a building fund for 20 years.
Yeah.
And never build. and we keep giving toward the building fund, and we giving toward this and toward that. And so, hey, Lisa. And so, a lot of people don't like to give because they don't see where their money's going.
Yeah.
Or if they do build, they see money being redirected somewhere else. And it was intended to go another direction. Yeah. So I feel like some people feel like they're targeted for money. And I think, and I want to say, I feel like his opinion was valid.
I do too.
I think it was valid because it's almost as if, when, like you said, when he started offering off with $1,000. He always said that he knew at least 20 people in there.
Yeah.
So it's almost like he was counting the dollars in his head. Like he knew if I got 20 for $1,000, I get 10, 5 for this. So he's already, I think, calculating his head. You know how they used to have to table?
Yeah.
He kept offering and tally it up.
Yeah.
It's like in his mind, he was getting there. And I think part of it too, because I did watch a little clip of his preaching. He was talking about his millionaire status, how he gives $1 million away a year. And so I think when he started getting on that $1 million thing, I think they kind of like rubbed him the wrong way because they're like, what,
Well, T.I. said that he think he made the face because everybody was about the face. The face was like, everybody was like, the face. But he said he really think he made the face when the comment was made. Give your money to be blessed. Yeah, like he said, that's when he think the face went south. Because then it was like he felt like, so I gotta pay $1,000 for God to bless me.
Exactly.
And so I can understand that. One thing I think it does is it challenges the pastors to, first of all, when the celebs show up, I don't doubt it. I know, girl.
That's the truth.
Yeah, they do. I think one thing that it challenges the pastors and anybody to realize that everybody in your congregation don't know church.
That's the truth. They
don't know church, so they don't know that this is the norm, or it's not. It's not strange to invite somebody over to help you clear out a debt, because they said that's what Jamal Bryant said.
He inherited a $30 million debt.
Yeah,
and so they were trying to get that down.
Yep.
So it was no secret that they were in debt, and the banks had come in, so they were up against
So he was fundraising.
Yes.
Okay.
He was really doing it, but what they didn't tell you prior to that, in his 10 months there, they had already made in 10 months what they have raised. It took them 5 years to raise.
Oh, wow.
Just by him being there.
Wow.
So they had already made over $1 million in those 10 months, raised that, since he had been there as pastor, which he did not, that wasn't mentioned. And that was what his comment. So it wasn't about the money. They were already doing a campaign to do that. He was online. So I think, it was, we get religious and real churchy when it comes to money.
Yeah.
And we all want to. I was gonna tell people, well, you're not blessed. But what I've come to know, we got people more unchurched that give more than people in church.
That's what Sister Moore, she said, I think Pastor missed his blessing because I believe T.I. would have given it if he had not felt like he was being targeted.
That's right. I think we wouldn't have had no problem with giving it.
Yeah. But T.I. said that some of his, I guess, rap friends, they was getting in line giving the money. He said he wanted to tell them to sit down. Like he said he really felt like it was a scam.
Yeah.
And that was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
For a non-believer to come in. And granted, the other lady I was listening to, she said people are always looking for reasons not to come to church.
That's right. They're
always looking for a reason not to come to church. So this just further helped that cause.
That's right. And the other thing about it is too, we have to look at this too. The way we perceive money now and the way money was perceived, if we want to let's go back to the civil rights movement. Money was a necessity, meaning they were mobilizing a movement. Yes. We're not mobilizing a movement in 2019. We just not. What? So there's no mobilization going on. So I'm asking the question. Now at ODC, we mobilize. I'm saying again, our money, we can see it in the community do its work.
Yes.
You can't say that about every church and ministry we have. We are grateful for Bishop and First Lady and Pastor. We have the freedom and liberty to move and see our money go on assignment.
That's right.
So what happens is churches raise money for an intention, and I don't think all of them unintentionally try to scam. I just think they see numbers, they see people, and they see, well, why are people not giving? I mean, you can have some of your biggest churches, and the offering is still as low.
That's right.
I mean, it can be packed. Yeah. And you think because I got a packed house, I'm gonna give more money.
It's gonna be overflowing.
And if that's not necessarily so we have to really look at what is your intention behind giving that money. And believe it or not, some people can read you real quick.
Yeah, they can.
So your body language,
especially non-believers. They, I mean, like, and that's what T.I. said that he could smell. It said he could smell. He was like, I felt like I could smell a con up in here.
That's it.
He was like, I could smell a con up in here.
He said that, and you know what the sad part about it is. At first, you know how you got it. I got a little angry. That's so nice to me get angry because he's right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right.
What made you get angry though?
At first, because I felt like he coming against the church.
Okay.
But it really wasn't the church. So then, as I watched the video, I was like, no, he ain't coming against the church.
Yeah.
Because he made it clear who he was targeting.
Yeah.
In that first, he made it clear. And Pastor Jamal Bryant came behind and gave a rebuttal to what was going on. And he said, let's sit down at the table.
Yeah.
Let's have some discussion. Let's talk about some things. So I think that's part of the thing is, I'm trying to fix so y'all, when you fix that, I'm having issues. I'm having an issue with me, y'all, trying to fix my shirt. And so I think what we have to understand is the church now is different. We talk about this all the time. Mm-hmm. If we don't move and become progressive in the way we reach people, the church, as we know, is going to die.
It's going to fade out.
My grandmother has always said for years, we're going to end up having church in our homes. Because the way the church is moving, the way our political climate is going, the way we see what's going on in government, it is really sad that they're even trying to censor what you say in your church. Yeah. And if you're not embracing a certain community,
that's right, then
people want to come against you and sue your church.
Yeah.
So it's a method to the madness. But we as a people, a Black community in the church, we have to know how to maneuver through that. Yeah. And we gotta put our minds together and think how can we do this together, and not so much in the individualized, because we can make a movement happen. But I think the problem is you got that church over here, this church over here, and they're not coming together. And I always say if more small churches come together and have a movement, it could be much greater. So I'm telling you, a lot of these big churches around here, they do big stuff. Yeah. But they don't do it all the time. Yeah. I mean, you see more small churches in the community.
Sister Moore said T.I. also said that he and Jamal have been working together on different missions and projects. Yes. So like you said, I don't believe T.I. was offended with Pastor Brian. Right. I think really he was just offended with the way Pastor Hilliard, the way he did it.
That's right.
It looked like a corporate slideshow. He was like, I felt like I was in a corporate slideshow.
Exactly. Yeah. So we have to look at it too, that a church needs money to operate.
That's right.
So let's just don't pretend that we don't need money. We need money. But we gotta show people that we're being good stewards over the money and we're doing what is important. Now I also want to talk about
what you want to talk about. I gotta watch Doctor. Doctor takes me off so fast, and then she don't give me no warning. Like I'll be like, okay.
What that same Sunday, Kanye West performed.
What happened now?
Kanye West performed that same Sunday.
Okay.
At 6 a.m. that morning, the parking lot was packed with millennials.
Really?
They said they had people who had been in line since 6 a.m. that morning just to hear Kanye West. And Pastor Brian said he didn't contact Kanye. Kanye's people contacted him and said they wanted to come to his church. He said, so people think I coordinate that. He said, I did not coordinate that.
Let me ask Facebook, would your pastor let Kanye West come? Think about your pastor.
That's right.
Would you let Kanye West come to your church on a Sunday morning in your pulpit? Like, I think I do. Oh, I didn't know that happened. Yeah, I got something.
Yeah, plug it up. Yeah, her devices always be running low. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, it probably.
I'm for real. So, would like what pastor would be okay with that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what. I like. I would too. And the thing that I like about what Jamal Bryant does, Pastor Jamal Bryant does, is he is out of the box.
Yes.
And he can draw people because his messages are different. A lot of people will say to us, he gives a good motivational speech. He always has scripture to back what he's saying. Now, I know his topics can sometimes kind of throw you off because you don't know where he's going with his topics, but he has a way of bringing that thing all together. And he made it clear that he wanted to get the millennials in the church, and guess what? He got them. And he said what they did mention is 156 millennials got saved.
Are you serious?
156 people got saved from that one service.
Wow.
So the question is, it wasn't so much Kanye, and I'll be honest with you, I watched him. And
What did he talk about?
he didn't talk, he sang.
What did he say?
He sang
Jesus walks.
Oh, girl. Someone, God, what's the guy from DC?
Jesus walks.
No, he said Jesus. I can't think of the artist's name, but he sang.
Let's take me to the church. Is that one? No. What did he say?
No. But anyway, the songs he was singing, you would know. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I probably about throughout this conversation I will. But the millennials showed up in the church, and so the intention, I think the objective of it was met.
I do too.
Because the millennials are not coming to church.
Yeah.
And so we have to be very, very cognizant in our approach. And I tell people, if you don't have a social media presence with your church, you are not in 2019.
No.
I say this all the time. I say when in my class with the students, the world changes every 4 years. The church only changes 20 years. So next year is 2020.
Wow.
We're already 40, we'll be already at least 12 years behind, 18 years behind. It's 2020.
Yeah.
So we're already behind. We got some churches, it's just really starting to embrace Instagram. They're starting to embrace Twitter, Periscope.
Yeah.
And some people have been on it for a minute. You got to, and guess what? And you know how you can engage it? Let your millennials be your social media. That's right. You let your millennials tweet. You let your millennials do the Instagram. You let them do Snapchat in church. Because guess what? When they get on Snapchat, I ain't never been on it. But they just say, my niece says she has like 150, 160 people that follow her. So if she's on Snapchat and she got 150, 160 people following her, and you got at least 10 in your church, that right there's almost 1,000 people that's going to follow you on Snapchat just because of who they know.
Yeah.
So what does that say? It says to us that we have to be different in our approach.
Yeah.
And so I believe Kanye West coming to a church, I will go. I know some of y'all probably saying, Erica, I would go because I think it's important that we understand that the church is made up of more than just millennials.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Our those of us that are over 45, if we don't start raising up another generation, we're gonna be looking at empty pews. Empty pews. And chairs. I'm sorry, we don't use more chairs.
Chairs. Some people do have pews. Oh, they do. Yeah, they do have pews. But they're right there lead us into the anniversary.
Yes. I'm
gonna let you talk about it.
So guys, guess what? This month it marks 1 year that we went on radio. About a year and a half prior to us going on live, I got a prophetic word that I was gonna go on radio in 3 cities: Greensboro, Charlotte, and Raleigh. And I listen, you know how you get words and you listen to them and you shake your head. Yes, Lord, thank you. I never thought any more about it until last August. The Lord put it back in my spirit about radio. I said, God, radio? I said, me on radio? I was like, well, God, I don't know how I'm gonna do this, but okay. So I just kind of put it on the shelf and left it there. He kept tugging at me. So it might have been about September, I called him and Pastor Mark, we're talking on the phone. And we were talking about 2020 or 2019. I don't know what we were talking about. Yeah. But I said, I guess I'm going to go on radio. She said, girl, you don't believe this. And so we got to talking about the radio. And I had used 107.9 for our summer camp and for our mental health agency for a radio spot. Yeah. So I said, well, I'm gonna call and set up something so we can talk. And we talked, and I'll never forget, we met at Panera. And he said, so this ain't going to be religious. Y'all ain't going to be preaching. He said, well, what are you going to be doing? You know, I think he was nervous. Yeah. We knew it on the station. Because you could see his face in the Panera Bread. Like, well, what are y'all going to be talking about? So I had to clarify for him that it was not going to be like your traditional radio show or Facebook show, because our personalities are so different, but they are the same. Yeah. And so we're going to bring a different spin on the gospel. Yeah. And so, I mean.
But you know, something I think is amazing is that if you remember, I told you that I had sent looking around for radio stations. Yes. The Lord had laid in my heart to do radio too. So I had sent I said, call around and see what we can get radio packages together.
Yes.
And so when you said the Lord is leading you, I was like, oh my God, girl, you ain't gonna believe this. Yes. But then another thing that the Lord synchronized us is that we knew we did not want to be stumped down preaching.
That's right. That's right.
Like, it was like we took the words out of each other's mouth. I was like, girl, I can't be on this sweating like stumped down preaching. Like, I just cannot do that. And you was like, no. That's not. It's like, we were in two separate places at two different times.
That's right.
And the Lord started laying the same, ministry on our heart. And that was radio ministry.
That is radio. So listen, when we went on his radio, he said to me, you are the first ones that have ever gone live on our station. Wow. So we made history. Mm-hmm. That being the first ones, we were there for, first of all, pastors, female, Black, going live on a Black radio station. We made history.
Yes.
And when I tell
is that Black enough for you?
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, guess what? From October, we was nervous, up until now, it has been an exciting journey. I love it. I look forward to it. I was in Pastor Mall today. I was in the mall today. I never go to the mall, but I had to go get some batteries, put in some watches. And I went into the African American store and I was walking. And so some people said, one lady stopped me and said, you do a podcast or something on Facebook. I said, yeah. She said, I'm thinking, well, if I gonna recognize with these yellow glasses on, that'll be good, And then she's like, y'all, this is her. This is the girl I've been talking about. They come on the radio and on Facebook Live. Yes. Then I went into a store and somebody said, were you in a magazine?
Oh my Lord.
And I was like, yeah, I was in a magazine. Then I had to go to the post office. All this happened today. I saw you in a magazine and are y'all doing other stuff? So I began to say, we're on radio. He said, I'm going to try to tune in. So listen, whenever you think people are not watching.
That's right.
Because sometimes when we're on, we don't really see many viewers.
Yeah.
It's after we've come off and we've been saying one show had 800 and some views after the fact. So we don't really see it at the beginning. So when we started this radio experience live, and the Lord gave me the word experience. And I said, and I wanted, he said, be different. So we put the X there instead of the E.
Yeah.
Because I wanted it to be
different. I still have a hard time spelling.
She does.
I'm like, E. I'm like, God, I want to put that E in. So I'll spell it out and then just drop the E.
Exactly.
I.
So the experience live. And what we mean by experience, every time we come on, we want you to have an experience. We're going to give you some comedy, but we're going to lead you with salvation at the end. It was instilled in us. We grew up that way because our desire is that you come to know Jesus Christ. Whether you join
your own personal
exactly. Whether you come to our church, we want you to have a personal experience, encounter with God for yourself.
Yeah.
And so we never leave that setting without that. So we decided that we want to do a 1-year celebration. But let me back up. Y'all, 2 years ago, we were supposed to do another celebration. It didn't work. And so
time just got away from
it. Got away from us.
And in between planning like church calendar,
yes.
And then, the Lord's opened up doors for you and me. Time just got away from us.
Got away from us. But this year we were determined we were going to do a 1-year celebration. A bit on the radio, and so we are excited about this 1-year experience that's going to take place. And then the other thing is, Donovan asked me in that meeting. He said, "Where do you all see this going?"
Yes.
I said, I didn't give it much thought beyond that. But as the months have went by, I thought about this year. Mm-hmm. I said, God, I wanted this to move to a much bigger platform.
Yes.
And I said, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that platform looks like. But yeah, I'm prophesying to us that God's going to put us on a bigger platform.
Hallelujah.
I don't know what that is, but we're going to be on a much bigger platform.
I believe it.
I believe this was training ground.
Yes.
It prepared us.
So many hiccups. We be in there trying to get online. We just be.
Today, we were live. Me and you was talking.
Okay, yeah, I saw that.
She said, I was like, oh, we live. And she said, I just came on. So yeah, we're still working through some of the things.
And then we be, because we work we work we're not at home with our feet up and then go to the radio. No. I'm taking my lunch to go there. You breaking in your work schedule so we can be there.
Going back to another meeting. So we're squeezing it in. But we have been consistent every second and fourth Thursday of every month. We've been consistent with that. And I believe I believe we built the audience because of our consistency.
Yeah, I do too.
And people look forward to seeing us. Everyone, they really do.
And one thing that I love about the Experience Live is that we always express relationship. You know, your own, and then another thing that it also gave us the opportunity to be transparent about our own walk.
Yes.
Because sometimes people see you evangelizing or preaching and pastoring, and they don't know like the things you had to go through and some things that you still going through.
God, they don't know.
So the Experience Live gives us the opportunity to be transparent. It can be helpful to the body of Christ. Because at the end of the day, people want you to be relatable.
They're relatable.
You know, through your experience. The Bible says we overcome by the word of our testimony and by the blood of the Lamb. And no church have testimony service no more. And I'm not knocking that. You know, if you want to turn the lights out, if you don't want to have testimony service, I'm not knocking it. However you do it. But the Spirit Live gives us an opportunity to share our testimony. You know, with people knowing that you don't have to die there. Like whatever you're going through, like I promise you, there is another day that's coming.
There will be victory after this. I'm telling you, it is victory after victory after victory. And I want to say this: the one thing that I love about myself and Pastor Moffitt is that we started our ministry together.
Yes, we did.
We had time frame of time gap in there of several years. We came back, but it's almost like a relation. We picked up where we left off.
Exactly.
We picked up and we kept running.
Yes.
And in the last article, I think it was kind of like give you an aha moment. So she said, I'm your teacher.
Yes.
And you're my pastor.
That is so true.
It's so true.
I got homework. I got to
homework. Yes. And so when you look at that, we look at that from a lens point. And I'm saying this to be this: even though we started ministry at the same time, if she calls on me, I do it because she's my pastor.
And yes,
and so whatever she needs, I do that. And if it's something that I don't like, we talk about it. We keep moving. I don't come on Facebook and say, you know that Pastor Moffitt. We don't do that. And people that do that, y'all need to stop. Stop bad-mouthing your leaders on social media.
Stop bad-mouthing your leaders in your congregation.
Exactly.
Among the other sheep that they show up at that church every Sunday because they need the word that's coming out of that leader's mouth. And then when you sit there, when you tear the leader down, hiding behind needing prayer.
That's right.
I want you to pray for my leader, but you've given him all the dirt on your leader. Come on, really?
Y'all stop that. Because guess what? Somebody can uncover your dirt.
And the Bible tells us not to stand in the way of a sinner.
No.
And so you never know what you could do to push people away from Christ.
That's right.
Because you want to tell, and so you hide it behind seeking, I guess, intercession for somebody. But you really just want to tell their business.
Just want to tell their business.
And God now I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't sit God on nobody, but God don't like that.
He does not. And I can tell you right now, I'm not gonna partake in a conversation with you if that's where you're going. I know how to. You watch the back of my head get smaller. I'm gonna keep walking, and I'm just gonna disappear in the thin air. Because what I believe is that when God places you in a house of worship, it is your responsibility to submit in your leadership. And the other thing that I'm grateful is our bishop allows us to be free. And when he does put his foot down and have to bring something, we look at each other in eye locking in eyes. We don't say nothing. We just say yes, sir. And we keep moving.
And we walk. Because one Sunday we tried to double team him.
Yeah, we did.
We tried to double team him because something needed to be done. And we was like, we're gonna have to do it. Because Bishop can have compassion.
Yes, honey, yes.
We walked in that office, we felt so strong, but when we had to leave, our tail tucked between our legs.
We just walk right out.
He was like, no, that's not happening today.
Exactly. No. And we didn't say nothing, and we didn't talk about it. We just said, okay, we let it go. And eventually it worked out that way. But it leads us into the celebration. And one of the things, the celebration on November 2nd at 5 p.m. at the Civil Rights Museum, we want to tear down some walls. There's been some walls that have been built. That person asked about when we have service. And there's some walls that's been built. So we were strategic. We have a millennial pastor, Justin Marshall, that's doing a great work as a millennial. We have him coming. He's gonna give his feedback on millennials. We have Pastor Dion Clark, who is a young man. I mean, he's doing great things at Equation Church. And when I get opportunity sometime to plug in, Grow and Thrive in Church, a man is carrying a great word. And so our panel is going to be heavy, but we want to talk about things that we think that's relevant now. It's good to talk about the Black Lives Matter movement. It's good to talk about civil rights, and that is very important. We're going to be in the Civil Rights Museum. But this is 2019, and we're facing some outright racism. We're facing white supremacists. And last week in Pastor Jamal Bryant's church, they had two people, and they haven't found them, that let out pepper spray in the midst of his sermon last Sunday. He thought the people were just getting happy. They were screaming. You can hear it. And they had to escort them out. It took 28 people to the hospital because 2 men came in with hoodies and let out pepper spray in the back of the church during service. So guess what? The enemy is mad with him because of the work he's doing. And the enemy is going to be mad at us because of the work that we're doing. But he cannot win. No. Because we've already have the victory of whatever God's promised. God saw in 2019 that Pastor Moffitt and myself will be here. We didn't see it. Almost 20-some years in ministry, we didn't see this moment. But God saw this moment. And our lives had to take a different route. Because I have a different story than her story. I have a different testimony. But the one thing about it is that you get the people going by there like that. What you doing?
Because when you replied to Pastor Lisa, hey Pastor Lisa, okay. you got to pop back in there. Look, this is on the job training for Dr. Erica.
I pop back in.
I just did it for you. Don't worry about it. Just reply. Just speak to your people.
Okay.
Hey y'all. We're gonna start all over.
So what I do now?
No. You don't reply. Because when you reply, when you manually reply, it takes away people that are coming in.
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm learning. Don't laugh, y'all.
Just hit like a drive.
I'm gonna do that because I'm not good at this. So anyway, God has taken us by two different paths, and I think this is important for people to know. When we started ministry under Bishop Graves, Tina ran to marriage. She felt that she needed marriage that moment for her ministry. I ran away from it.
Yeah, you did.
Because I felt like he had talked to me that day. He said, Erica, he said, what you're carrying, don't allow, you gotta make sure that you get the right mate.
Yeah.
Because if not, your ministry will go in. So I was afraid to really walk in that vein of marriage because I thought that my ministry would die.
Oh, wow.
So I worked hard to build my ministry because I didn't want to do that. And when I realized that, I said, God, I did. And I didn't really realize that I ran from that. I ran from that because I was afraid that if I got married early, that he would kill my ministry and I wouldn't grow. And I knew I needed ministry. I wanted ministry. And so I said, well, the only way I know I could do it effectively is if I just stay single.
Yeah.
And that's what I did all these many years. But now I know now in this next season of my life that God has spoke to me that now you need a covering. Yeah. You need a helpmate. So, but I have to be comfortable with that.
Yes.
I'm not quite comfortable with that yet. Because when you've been single for so long and you get over 45, you like, I can go when I want to go and all that kind of good stuff. But it's so amazing though, our stories of how God and how God the enemy attacked her body with meningitis. Yeah. Early on, yes. I got attacked with strokes. And so I didn't know God to be a healer until then. Yeah. I didn't know God was to be a way maker until God had to make a way for me. And so we got extraordinary testimony. That's why we can be transparent. I often tell people this story. I was a freshman at UNC Charlotte. I love to tell this testimony because I believe it's going to bless somebody's life. I was at UNC Charlotte. I went back to Charlotte for a New Year's Eve party. I was ready. I was going in, and I had been drinking and smoking. Now, I wasn't smoking no cigarettes, and so and I wasn't drinking no water. So I was in the party. Things were going great, and all of a sudden, my glass on the table started talking to me, and I said, "Now wait a minute. I know that glass. I know I'm crazy." So I tapped the girl. I said, "Is that glass talking?" She's like, Eric, what is wrong with you? I said, I don't know, but this glass is talking to me. So the more I tried to ignore it, I got another glass. That glass, I said, wait a minute. So I said, Lord. Now, and all that I'm saying, Lord, because I don't know what happened, because this glass is talking. And I clearly heard God say to me, if you drink this last drink in the morning, your parents will be identifying your body.
Wow.
He was just that clear to me.
Wow.
They will be able to have to come to the scene and identify your body. Y'all, I sobered up. I let all the windows down in the car and drove from Charlotte to Greensboro. I pulled in the driveway. I passed out asleep in the car. My daddy come knock on the window. How long you been there? I said, can you see me? I said, can you see me? I was like, Lord, thank you. I made it home.
Yeah.
I just didn't know. And if that right there was a wake-up call to me that what I was doing, I had to stop it.
Yeah.
Because that was a wake-up call. There was something that God had connected to that. I didn't know that then, but I know that now.
Yeah.
Because my destiny could have stopped in 1991.
In the bottom of a glass.
In the bottom of a glass.
Oh my God.
But God preserved me. He preserved me for this moment in time.
My God.
And I am grateful that, guess what? I had enough sense to look at the glass. And I didn't ignore the glass. I could ignore the glass.
Yeah.
And went on with my life. Yeah. And I would have died. But God saw fit for me to live and make it today. So I tell you, we have been through some trials.
Yeah, we have.
We've had some bumps and bruises. At the beginning of the year, y'all, we were doing prayer visual. Pastor Marvin fell off the step at the office.
Oh my God.
It was the freakiest thing. And
it was the freakiest thing.
She's talking about y'all. We can just take her in. She's gonna be all right. I said, no, mother, you're gonna get in this car. You going to this good old hospital.
I just felt like, what happened?
Yes.
I mean, I'm trying, and I was sitting, and thank y'all so much for participating. I'm sitting there in the chair with my foot in a cast and Dr. Erica, you were instrumental in just making sure everything just moved around. Because I was trying to slide around in the chair, you know, that was a teachable moment for me.
Yes, yes.
And that's when the Lord really allowed me to see what ODC is blessed with.
Yes,
and that's people that are able to hear the vision and keep the vision going.
Keep the vision going.
You know, and so I mean, it was humbling for me to have to sit there.
I know she could. It about killed her. She tried her best.
Oh my Lord!
I said, sit down, mother. You can't do nothing. What you need, I'll make sure it's done. And we gave clear instruction. And the ODC, y'all did a magnificent. Y'all carried it through.
Volunteers,
and we're gonna do it in 2020.
Yes, we are.
We're looking forward to do it in 2020. But our lives have taken extraordinary differences. I want to focus on this the last question.
Okay.
And that.
Okay.
This is what is our prophetic or your prophetic proclamation for 2020. What is it that you hear the Lord saying in 2020? And if the other night I couldn't sleep, and I was up and I was like, God, when God starts waking you up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, you know it's God, because you waking up, God wants you getting up. So I was like, Lord, what are you saying? What are you speaking? And God was speaking to me. This is the year of open doors.
Yes.
This is the year of release, and this is the year of restoration.
Yes.
But 2020 is going to be the year of victory. Wherever you felt a loss, God said in 20 you're going to win.
My Lord.
And not only you going to just win, you're going to win victoriously. And I said, God, that is magnificent. And then I'm working on book 2, and I have been really studying about the communion. And when I tell y'all, I've been really studying about God's body that was bruised. Well, let me tell y'all this. I don't think y'all really, really realize this, but we eat up his body first.
My Lord.
Then we drink up his blood. I said, God, what does that mean? He said that the breaking of the body is your healing.
Oh, wow.
The drinking of the blood is your cleansing. And him dying on your cross is your salvation. And God began to speak to me about that thing. And I began to think about, so we focus on the blood so much, but we never look at the breaking of his bones. His bones were broken for us on the cross. And so I've been studying about that. I'm just so excited about book 2 coming out. And I've been really looking at that. So I just heard God said, this is the year, is a year of release. We talked about this maybe about the summer. We're already in 2020. I'm done with 2019. Yeah, I'm done with 2019.
And it was so funny because when I was thinking about 2019, it's like the Lord just fast forward my vision.
Yes.
2020. Yes. And that's when me and you both started saying, I'm some over 2019. I'm so over it.
Yes.
Because God is going to do some miraculous things in 2020.
I'm telling you.
And when you ask what is a prophetic word, the Lord has let me know that I'm going to go beyond my natural reach. So you're going to be able to go beyond your natural
yes,
the things that you have in reach.
Yes.
God said, I'm going to charge you to go beyond that.
Wow.
He said, I'm going to open doors that's beyond your connection.
Yes,
That's beyond your income.
Yes,
That's beyond your education.
Yes.
That's beyond your name.
That's right.
He said, I'm going to make you go. I'm going to make you go. And he thought about Psalms 23.
Yes.
He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He's going to make us. He's going to charge us to go beyond our reach. And I said, Lord, why? He said, because the church needs to be elevated in the world.
The church has to be elevated.
It has to be elevated in the world.
We've been hiding for so long.
Yes.
And people are dying. And I'm after asking, well, what is the church?
The believer. And think about this. When I say the church, I don't mean 4617 Westgate City.
That's right.
I mean the church.
The church.
The believer.
The believer.
We have sacrificed. We have been, we cried that night, but we still clocked into his calling.
Yes.
We were by ourselves, but we still clocked into his calling.
Yes.
I mean those that have been faithful. I mean the church.
Yes.
The church is faithful.
Yes.
I mean the church. I mean the church. God said, I'm going to cause the church to be elevated.
Yes, yes. And what did Paul say? Paul said, we are living epistles.
Yes.
Read of men daily. So when they see us, they ought to see the church.
Yes.
So if you're not exemplifying the church, then I want you to go back and reevaluate your relationship with God.
Yes.
Because if your relationship is on shaky ground, then you need to get stable again. And how do you get stable? Go back to the cross.
Go back to the cross.
I said, God, I don't want to repent because God, I got out somewhere.
Yeah.
And let me tell you this: God will always show you where you detoured.
Wow.
God will always show you where you detoured, where you dwell.
I had a moment yesterday in the car, okay? And I'm a pastor, and I had to pull over. And the Lord began to show me where I detoured.
Wow.
In an area in my life. And I broke down and started crying. And I said, Lord, forgive me.
Yes.
Forgive me for chasing after that thing.
Yes, yes.
Instead of standing still, seeing the salvation of the Lord.
Yes.
And when you stand in the salvation, that means He's willing to save you from something. Whatever you need to be saved from, don't run after nothing else.
That's right.
Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord.
Yes, yes.
Let Him come after you and take you where He wants you to go.
That's it. The blessings of the Lord,
yes,
will overtake you.
It'll overtake you.
You don't have to run to it. It'll come to you.
It'll come to you.
And the thing that I love about God, and I was watching the other night, God's gonna cause your name to be put on people's minds.
Yes, yes, yes.
Your name is gonna be great in 2020.
Yes.
He's gonna make your name great. He's gonna open some doors for you. So you pastors and preachers that are listening, you need to get some sermons ready.
Yes.
Because when God begins to open doors in 2020, you don't have time. Say, Lord, what's my word? God is already speaking to you now for 2020.
My
He's
Lord.
already prepping you for 2020. So you need to make some time. God dealt with me the other day. He said, Erica, you're not managing your time well.
Girl.
He dealt with me on time management the other day. He said, because I do a lot of things, but I've not carved out time for him for the things that he's requiring of me to do. So I had to go back and say, Lord, I'm sorry because I have not been managing my time well. And so now I've got to reevaluate and restructure some of the things that I'm doing because I am like an energized bunny. I never stop. I can become a very workaholic. I really can. I can become a workaholic and get so engrossed the field that I work in, which is mental health, and I can get so engrossed with that and things that's going on that I sometimes forget about me. And so when God began to deal with me on that, He said, Erica, you got to be ready and prepared. Get your passports ready. My passport expired. I told Kim the other day, it's time for me to renew my passport. And so you listen, this is not the time for you to become lazy. It's not the time for you to be relaxing. When 2020 comes in, you've got to hit the ground running hard.
Yes.
So you've got to prepare yourself. God has laid on my heart a conference that I'm working on now. It's called Emerging Leaders 2020. I do not know the location yet. God revealed it, but I do know the month.
Yes.
The month is April.
Yes.
I don't know. Everything God's been giving me is the month of April. I don't know what it is. But and so I was talking to some people that I want to be a part of this. And guess what? April is the best month for all of them. So I said, God, I don't know what you're doing, but God, you're lining this thing up.
Yes, He is.
To be what He's called it to be. And we've learned this even in teaching our leaders at church, is that everybody don't know how to lead.
Yeah.
We need followers. And follow, just because you're a follower still does not make you not a good leader. Because you got to be able to learn how to submit to those that are in authority over you. But guess what? I can work better sometimes as a follower.
Yeah.
I really can. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it.
Yeah.
But you got some people that are pastors, apostles, prophets. Yeah, all y'all, I'm calling y'all names. This beneath them to do some things. They can't put down a chair.
They can't.
They can't write down a table.
Yeah, they don't stay after the help.
They can't even serve a plate.
Yeah.
They got to be doing something.
Yeah.
But if you come to Overcome Deliverance Center, all of us are going to be working. We work from the pastor to the bishop to all our leaders. We work because we understand the importance of being a servant.
But you know, something else that I learned in leadership, and this is something that the executive leaders at ODC helped me learn. Really, is that everybody just because they've been in church all their lives don't mean that they are equipped to lead right now. They just need to be trained.
That's right. That's right. I had to help her with this, y'all. I had to help her with that.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Because I'm like, you've been in church all your life. What you mean you're not? And so it was frustrating me in the beginning of Overcoming Deliverance Center because I felt like we were opening with a bunch of leaders.
Yes.
And so I just started delegating things for people to do and come back in 2 weeks and they still, and I'm like, what is the deal?
Yes.
And I come back again and be like, what's wrong? Like, what you mean? And it started frustrating me, and Dr. Erica and executive leaders, elders said, we need to slow down and we need to train.
We got to train.
Because you got to see, the one thing about a pastor that loves his sheep, like they already see where you're going.
That's right.
And that's the thing. I saw the leaders in the house.
Yes.
So I just assumed they was ready to lead. I'm thinking, I seen it. The Lord showed it to me. So what's the problem? You know, what's the problem? But it wasn't like that. So we do have to slow down and offer that training. So I'm excited about the conference.
I'm too. I mean, God has really given me. God gave me I wrote my dissertation on moving from discipleship to mentorship.
Mm-hmm.
It's already written. I'm working on the curriculum to go with it, so you can learn how to train leaders and teach leaders. And when I did it, I struggled because I had a separate topic. Mm-hmm. I wanted to do mine on singles ministry.
Okay.
How to co-lead a single man and single woman, co-lead a ministry. When I tell you they couldn't come together, when I tell you nothing I could do, it would not come together. So when I moved my title, it was 100 pastors in Greensboro. I mailed out surveys. And when I tell you I got all 100 back, really? I mailed them to white churches, black churches, Latino churches. I did all cultures. And it overwhelmed me of the feedback that I got back. I wasn't even expecting to get 10 back. I got all 100 back.
Wow.
And I began to include the data. I looked at the research. I said, God, it's amazing. So when God gave me that, I said, God, you give me this for a reason. And now I know, because we have to be trained, got to be developed. So just because she thought that there were a lot of people that were leaders, that they were able to lead, just because you've been in church 20 years don't mean that you don't have to lead. So I had to slow her down and say, hey, let's back up this train. Let's teach them how to lead. And believe it or not, when I went in leadership training, our leaders admitted to us, it is hard for them to lead.
Yeah.
They were comfortable being followers. Mm-hmm. So now we're pulling out of them with the help of Sister Kim. She's our greatest administrator. She helps us stay on track because we can get off derailed sometimes. But she's helping us to help train them mm-hmm. and show them and pull out of them gifts. We do a spiritual gifts test every year at our church. Yeah. And the spiritual gift test allows us to see where your gifts are. Mm-hmm. As a result of that, Pastor Moffitt meets with them and does one-on-ones. And then we put them in the ministries to help cultivate and develop that ministry that gift that they have. And you'll be amazed that out of that, some of them have realized that they want to do other things out of it. Yeah. And they've grown. So what we're finding is, and I'm so glad that we didn't try to implement 20 ministries at one time. Yeah. We have basic men, women, outreach, expressive arts, yeah. We serve, yeah, and intercessory prayer. We got 6, y'all. Yeah. And in those we 6,
just added correspondence.
Correspondence,
yep,
yes.
We just added correspondence.
And so we're busy making sure, and we're spending time and cultivating them. Yeah. We're spending time in training our ministers, and our MIT. We're training them on how to be effective ministers. What I've learned in seminary and what I've learned in different arenas is that every preacher is not a teacher.
That's right.
And every teacher is not a preacher.
Yeah.
And so just because you're not a preacher doesn't mean that what your gift is insignificant.
That's
He
right.
said he called some pastors, some prophets, some apostles, some teachers. He called those gifts for a reason.
Yeah.
And so what I've learned is that in doing that, I want you to be your best self.
That's right.
So whatever your best gift is, I want to help you in that. So in our MIT training, we're teaching them a call versus a position.
That's right.
Many are called, but few are chosen.
And another thing, we encourage them to revisit the call.
Yes, revisit the call.
And rehearse the call.
Yes, yes.
You know what? You know, where were you when God called you to serve? Like what?
Yes,
like what happened?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and the more and the thing about it does, it marry the call even
It
more.
does. It does.
You know, it's just like in a relationship.
Yes,
when you reminisce on why you fell in love with somebody,
yes,
it causes you to be committed to that person.
Yes,
even more.
yes.
Although they may be acting crazy right now.
That's right.
And although the ministry may not be going the way you want it,
that's right.
When we encourage them to rehearse the call, it helps them marry the call again.
It does.
Because you know, Bishop Graves taught us that it's a yoke.
It's a yoke. Yes,
It's a yoke.
Yes, yes.
And he taught us when everything else fails, your call is going to be there.
It's going to stand sure. And listen, I heard the Spirit of the Lord just say, don't abandon your church or your call, because right now it doesn't look like what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
When we started preaching, when we started in ministry over 20-some years ago, God told me in that moment that, Erica, I'm going to take you in hiding. And I said, God, why would you punish me like that? But God, why would you punish me? Did I do something to offend you?
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that in that time that God took me like he took Paul on the backside of the mountain.
Yes.
Out in the desert. I didn't know what God was preparing me for. And it's only maybe in the last 10 years, I understood why he had to take me that route.
Yeah.
Because he was preparing me for something that's much greater. Because I knew there was going to be some form in my ministry that I was going to have to walk alone.
Wow.
And in my wilderness experience, God has shown me that he is a strong provider and he is a keeper.
Yeah.
And I've learned that God before me, I don't care what everybody else say, God has showed me that he got my back.
Yeah.
And when I realized that God had my back, hey, I can go with God in any arena, and any category I can go in, I can do that. It was several years ago when I belonged to a church in Greensboro. Witness came to sing on New Year's Eve night, and it ended up that night I had to preach because the pastor had to go out of town for a funeral. And while I went out on the stage and I was preaching, the church was packed. I mean, like packed. I was nervous. Like, I'm going to Witness just been seeking. Lisa Page Brooke is one of my best singers. And so I'm up there preaching, and the power of God fell. And after service, she said to me, she said, while we were waiting, she said, I heard the power in your voice.
Wow.
And she said to me, God's going to take you places that you could never imagine. It was a year later. I connected with her on Facebook, and she sent me a message. She said, don't forget, God's still going to take you places.
God's still going to take you.
And when I saw that, I said, God, I thank you.
Yes.
Because sometimes in ministry, you don't feel like you're going places. You really don't.
You don't.
You don't feel like you're going. And Pastor don't like me for me to talk about numbers. In December, we would have been in ministry 24 years. So I'm going to say it. She don't like me to tell numbers, 24 years. And so in those 24 years almost, guess what, y'all? We have experienced some losses, some wins. We've experienced some knockouts.
I have been on a mountain where the book was packed.
What you say?
I mean, going somewhere everywhere,
nothing everywhere. I've done it. But God has shown me that he's the same God then, he's the same God now.
Yeah.
And what I love about God is that God is faithful. So in 2020, God's going to put your name in the mouths of people. Because I believe there are people out there waiting to hear what you have to say.
Right. You're right.
There's a word for you. There's an assignment that God has placed in your life. And you're wondering right now, God, how am I going to fulfill that? God's going to allow you to connect with people that have the same like-minded spirit that's going in the same direction. The reason that we can work so together, we have like-minded spirit.
That's right.
Our visions are one. And it is not about a physical building.
Yes.
We want to reach the kingdom of God.
Kingdom of God.
And that's more important. I think building churches are wonderful because to me, they're just training grounds.
Yes.
A building is just a training ground, y'all.
Yeah.
It's not where you go and you only witness to just your people in the inside.
That's right.
It should be a training ground to send them out. The Great Commission was to send them out to the edges of the highway.
That's right.
And to compel them to come.
Yeah.
Once they be compelled to come, then you train them to go out to compel.
Back out again.
Compel
It should be a revolving door.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
coming in, going out, coming in, going out.
Yes.
You know, that people are coming to Christ and they come and get refueled and then they go right back out.
Exactly. And so I'm so excited about what God is doing in this season. And I really believe that the more that you are between now and December 31st, I hear the Lord saying, if you press into him and you'll press in your prayer time, if you press into him with your prayer time, God is going to show you your next move.
Wow.
He's going to show you your next strategy for your ministry between now and December 31st. And I want to tell you this. If God spoke a word to you at the beginning of January, God still has time to fulfill that word.
Still has time.
So don't you abandon the promise because it doesn't look like it's
going to lose faith. Don't lose faith.
Hope.
Yeah.
If God made you a promise, God's going to fulfill what he said that he was going to do. When I had my last stroke 2 years ago, and I was going through physical therapy, I went through rehab for a stint, and she said to me, Erica, you're going to feel residual effects on your left side, even beyond that. I said, what does that mean? She said, some days you're going to feel paralysis in this left side because it affected the left. So there are some days I feel the residual effect. But when I feel it, I don't give into it.
Yes.
I force my arm and hand to keep moving. Because when you start giving into it, I'm saying this for a reason. I'm telling you, don't give into what you're feeling.
That's right.
Because your emotions will throw you off.
We talked about that already.
Yes.
Your emotions.
Your emotions will cause you to abandon what your call is.
Yes.
And just because you're not behind a pulpit does not make you less valuable than somebody in the body of Christ. It does not.
That's right.
You still have value in the pews. Because guess what? We need the sheep in the pews to help fortify the ministry that's up in the street.
That's right.
We can't do it by ourselves.
We cannot.
We're only one person. Yeah. And self-care is the best thing you can ever give yourself. Pastors and leaders, take care of your bodies.
Take care of your bodies. And
take care of your bodies.
And another. I just want to say that on November the 2nd, if you have not gone to Eventbrite,
yes,
go and register. It is it's reserved seating. It's free and open to the public.
Yes.
But we do have a limited space. But I want you to go to Eventbrite tonight, and I believe that tomorrow we're going to be sold out. Like everything's going to be.
I believe so too.
I mean, that's what I'm believing. I'm really believing.
Yes,
we're going to have music. We're going to have food. We're going to have conversation.
Yes,
and like Dr. Erica said, we got Pastor Dion Clark.
Hey, Pastor Dion Clark. Yes.
I've only met. I met him twice. He came to the bank.
Okay.
And then I met him again at Tabernacle meeting.
Okay.
And we just kind of like spoke there, but so I'm excited to have dialogue with the men of God. About what's the theme?
The theme is reclaiming the voice of the Black church.
Reclaiming the voice of the Black church. So I'm excited about having a dialogue. And then if you're going to be in the place, guess what? You can engage in the dialogue as well.
Yes. We will be going live, Instagram, Facebook Live, and Periscope, all at the same time, and YouTube.
Yeah.
So we're going to be live on all platforms. I bought some equipment. I got to test it out. But we're going to be going live on all those platforms.
She bought some
equipment. So we Pastor and myself going to try that project.
And if you're in millennials that don't have nothing to do, come out and help us.
Come on out, volunteer. This is not a religious event.
Yeah.
But we want this to be a opportunity to leave from there.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about your rights. And we this last thing, we talked about this earlier. Millennials, we need for you to register to vote.
Vote.
You have a voice in 2020.
Vote.
We're going to talk about that on the 2nd, about the importance of voting and how that's going to help us to reclaim the voice of the Black church.
Yeah.
Well, do we realize we people died for us the right to vote? So it was in churches that the movement started.
Yes,
so it's now that we need to go back to the church, and it's time for us to start another movement. And that movement is to reclaim the voice of the Black church.
Yes.
That movement.
So I want to ask you something as we get ready to go. If you can describe the voice of the Black church in one word, Dr. Erica.
Yes.
What would it be?
Wow. Now, like the way I see it now, I see it as being invigorating. It's been invigorating because it's almost like we're cutting edge, but we're a little afraid to go after what we see because of traditionalism.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the church now is, we want to move, but I think we're afraid because other people are going to say we might be becoming too worldly.
Okay.
So I see the church being invigorated. I see the church being more more of a refreshing place,
Okay.
as opposed to a place of oppression. So now I want this to be, we're looking for a refreshing. We're looking for a newness that I think has been lost.
Yeah.
And we need the voice to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how, it's a way to do that. I'm not really sure. I talk with my hands a lot, y'all, so I'm just trying to find that word.
Yeah.
We need the voice to be reclaimed. And I don't know how we're going to do it, but we'll have an answer for you in a second.
Yeah. Well, we may not have an answer. One of y'all coming may have an answer.
You might.
Go on Eventbrite and register. Just register for your seat to be in the place.
Yes.
We're going to have a photographer there. We're going to be taking photos.
Yes.
We're going to be signing photos. We're going to be giving out autographs.
Yes. And Pastor Dion Clark has wrote a book. And Pastor Clark, bring your book that night. By all means, I have my book there.
Yeah.
And bring your books out. So we got Pastor Lee. You wrote your book. Bring your book out. We want to support our Black authors and we'll support them, because I believe that it's important that we do that. And if there's any inspiring writers or poets or whatever, come out and just be a part of this experience. We're hoping next year we're gonna do a big.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a big next year, and I'm just praying and believing that God's gonna do some mighty things. And we've been here an hour.
Yeah.
This is my bedtime, y'all. I go to sleep early. But anyway, I'm excited about November the 2nd. It's gonna be an exciting time for us. Register and be a part of it.
If you go to our Facebook page, you'll find the link.
Yes.
That takes you to the Eventbrite.
Yes.
But if you just go onto Eventbrite, it's called the Experience Live.
Exactly.
Go and register. Invite your family, your friends, your co-workers, and just come out and celebrate with us, because like Dr. Erica said, we are so excited that the Lord has kept us this whole year.
Yes,
and we have remained faithful.
Yes,
we have been on track.
Yes.
And today when I got the word, I said, I started giggling, and the couple was like, "What's wrong?" I said, "Girl, I can't wait to do the radio today." Like, I was excited about doing the radio today. Because it's just the opportunity that we get to talk, and we get to also get that feedback back. So please go to Eventbrite and register. I promise you, it's going to be an experience,
and you don't want to miss it. Because I tell you, you leave there, you're going to feel a newness, a rejuvenation, a refreshing. And next month, November, December, and we're going to leave with this. We're going to talk about casting your vision. What does your vision look like for 2020? We don't want to wait to January. I want you to start casting your vision now. Churches cast vision. So cast a vision for your anybody. So start getting it on your mind.
And I just heard in the spirit, in order to give that mandate, we have to pray for faith.
Oh, wow.
Because some people have stopped having a vision due to lack of faith.
Stop believing.
And so that disappointment has set in. So we are going to be praying that as you prepare to go register on Eventbrite,
yes,
get your ticket,
yes,
that the Lord begin to awaken your faith, and remove that disappointment, so that you can begin to see your life further than today. So that's what vision is.
Yes.
Vision is seeing your life further than where you are today.
Yes.
Plan.
So we're going to end in prayer. We never want to leave it with we're going to end in prayer tonight. And we're believing God's going to do new. I am so glad to see my friends on here. I'm so glad. Hey, Natalie, I love you too, sweetie. I thank God for the people that joined us.
Yes.
On this opportunity to be on Instagram has ended, but we're on Facebook Live now. But let's pray. Father, we thank you tonight, God, for this opportunity to share with our community the things that you're doing in our lives individually. So I pray, God, that as we prepare for November the 2nd, God, that it not just be an experience, but it become an encounter. God, that you have given myself and Pastor Moffitt, Pastor Clark, and Pastor Justin Marshall, you give us, God, words of wisdom that we can leave with the people that will come. And God, we ask, oh God, that you will set the atmosphere there, God, that people will be free to ask questions and not be looked at or being judged. God, we pray, God, that you will fill the place with millennials. We're looking for a different kind of different, but we don't want to walk away from the faith, but we want to hold on to God's unchanging hand. And so we're believing God's going to do it. We look forward to seeing you on November the 2nd at 5 p.m. Go to Eventbrite and register. I tell you what God is doing in the season. You don't want to miss it.
You don't want to
look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank y'all for joining us.
Good night.
Good night.